Is Frederic Vosgrone a legitimate phenom or a juiced-up cheater?
Ich hab eine Gewichtsweste an.
The scary German sensation has gone viral on the internet since his last fight in April.
Oh wow, Vosgrone staying attached. Look at the way he does not want to let that go.
The netizens have gone crazy for this BJJ phenom. Many feel he's a lookalike of Paddy Pimblett but juiced up to the gills. Just take a look. This man appears to be a physical specimen. Some even refer to him as Paddy the Fatty. We've seen this superhuman level of strength at grabbing legs, but somewhere it all feels unnatural. So let's discuss this further and see if the German can ever reach the bright lights of the UFC. As of today, Frederic Vosgrone is one of the best European grapplers on the planet, plus an undefeated MMA prospect. The man they call the Neanderthal will go into the biggest fight of his life on June 14th when he'll take on a veteran, Lucas Alcina, in a football stadium in Prague. After his fight last month, he went so viral that his IG followers grew from 10,000 to 400,000 in a month. But of course, such overnight fame doesn't come without a shade of controversy, as Frederic has been accused of using performance-enhancing drugs. And don't even blame us for anything. You take a good look at him and his build and you'll be doing the same. Take a look at all the comments we've seen on his videos, and a majority of them have had the word steroids specifically mentioned. Most of the European MMA promotions do not have the luxury of drug testing. We've seen plenty of juiced up fighters fighting in those promotions, mimicking what Pride FC used to be famous for, giants fighting on juice. But now, even fellow fighters like Daniel Spor are raising the concern. While talking about the fight between Vosgrone and Alcina, the Czech fighter said this in an interview. They're huge and nasty animals. They give things there that others don't want to give, and they will be bigger and stronger, so let them go together. Daniel not only implied that both of them might be using banned substances, but also suggested that their doping might be the reason for them not to go and fight in the UFC, because their drug testing policies are very stringent. I mean, if you look at Frederic's uncanny transformation over the last 3 years, it kind of supports what Daniel's saying. Right now, this 6'3", 205-pound muscular beast has got veins popping all over his body. He's got a very aggressive style that'd remind you of TRT Vitor Belfort if he was a grappler. And don't forget, Frederic comes from a high-level grappling background, and one of the greatest grapplers of all time, Gordon Ryan, openly talks about using PEDs because it's not illegal in his sport.
There's certain sports like grappling. Gordon Ryan, who's the greatest grappler of all time, openly admits to taking performance-enhancing drugs. Openly talks about it because everybody's doing it. And he's just honest. He's just like, yeah, I take them. Everybody's taking them.
Frederic has never officially failed a drugs test, so it's not fair to conclude anything yet. But no matter what, we'll be closely watching this fight next month because everybody wants to see how good this guy really is. Well, if he falls or not, that remains to be seen, but what's evident is that Octagon MMA might have found the next breakout star from Europe in Frederic Vosgrone. The German has got that rare combo: freakish athleticism, undeniable grappling skills, and serious, superhuman, or some might say monstrous energy. Now, if the German can keep winning, he could become a legit superstar in European MMA and will be knocking at the doors of the global MMA leagues. Octagon knows the deal, which is why they locked him in for another event at Octagon 72 in June. But this time he's facing a real test. Lucas La Cobra Alcina, a seasoned fighter from Argentina with a 13-5 record. If Vosgrone gets the W here, it might be a foregone conclusion as to who will be next for the reigning two-weight Octagon world champion, Will Fleury.
Will Fleury, I'm coming for you.
So Frederic is set up until his fight with Alcina in June, but onto some stuff for the future, which might be coming if he keeps on winning. That's the big ticket to the UFC. But hold on, do you think this German fighter is ready for the UFC? I mean, we need to be practical in this hypothesis. As of today, our protagonist is undefeated with a 4-0 record in pro MMA, and every single win out of those 4 is by submission. Of course, the quality of opponents he's faced is not up to the best that even Europe has to offer, but he's getting there and will eventually have to face them.
Off we go again, chasing his man. No.
That leads us to his greatest grappling achievement to date, which was the 2020 Polaris UK Grand Prix, one of the most elite grappling events in Europe. Frederic ran through the bracket and submitted former UFC fighter Tom Breese and current UFC middleweight contender Rainier Derrida en route to winning the tournament. Oh, by the way, he tapped Derrida in just over a minute. Think it over, RDR is wreaking havoc with his successful blend of wrestling and striking in the UFC's middleweight division, but Vosgrone will need to cut down to 185 for a matchup with him. But as for what we've seen him do in the cage, he's passed every test with flying colors so far. The German fighter is already drawing similar hype levels to what we've seen previously with some of the Irish or British fighters who dominated the European circuit before looking for a new challenge on the other side of the Atlantic.
He's going to set it again. He might go. He's out. Oh my goodness. That is one.
With an unreal hype train behind him and then adding to that the flair, this is all a successful recipe for the UFC. And that's just based on the impact of his debut alone. Many MMA fans are comparing him to Hamza and Khabib, owing to the fact that all three of them are one-dimensional fighters. Well, largely yes, but it doesn't take away from the fact that both the Chechen and the Dagestani were so dominant in their skill set that they never went ahead with their striking much. And Vosgrone can be the same. He can have success with his grappling, taking into consideration that most light heavyweights or middleweights are not good at this skill. But conversation should not stop at them, because we've seen many one-trick ponies come and fail miserably in the game. Look no further than what's happening with Bo Nickel. I won't say he's a one-trick pony, but when people find holes in your game, you need to prepare yourself in other facets of the sport. And that will be the key for Frederic and his ascent if he can ever make it up there. Coming back, if he passes this latest test at Octagon 72, then he might get a title shot as discussed earlier. Or even better, he might get noticed by the big boss Dana White and get imported to the UFC. It might be too early to fantasize, but Frederic would be an outstanding addition to the UFC's light heavyweight division. Just imagine this beast going head to head against the likes of Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev, and Yuri Prohaska. Well, it's all in the future, and who knows what might be the ceiling for this scary-looking grappler. Let's see what happens in his upcoming matchup if he goes on to fight Will Fleury.
Oh, hallo, wen haben wir denn da? Also Dortmund, habt ihr Bock, diesen Kampf zu sehen? Will Fleury gegen Frederic Vosgrone!
That's all for today, MMA fans. Vosgrone mania is running wild in MMA these days, and that will continue, knowing that he's gonna fight pretty soon in June. So what are your thoughts? Is Frederic a cheater or just a genetic freak? And can he pass his next test on June 14th? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sportskeeda MMA for all the latest fight world drama. And before YouTube pushes you off in another direction, take a look at the video on your left, where we explore why Belal Muhammad is the most disliked fighter in the UFC today.